Neurodiversity can be a challenging diagnosis, whether you're neurodivergent, neurotypical, or just looking to understand someone who has a diagnosis. My name is Juana Venegas, and this podcast was created to be a resource for you. We will provide tools and engaging conversations to help navigate the journey from the diagnosis to hope and create community along the way. Because by creating community, we are helping today's current kids, young adults, and also building a more inclusive world for future generations. Hey, my name is Juana Venegas. I'm a human being. I'm not an angel. I'm not a negative person either. I'm a neurodivergent person. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, back in 2008. And back then, I didn't use the right coping mechanisms to deal with my neurodivergent brain and my thoughts and my anger and my emotions. So some things that I use that I shouldn't use is it was food, it was alcohol, it was shopping, it was many others that let's leave it like that. So why do I do what I do right now? Because when I started getting all this information about emotional intelligence and emotional and personal development, something that it will help your soul and it will help you grow as a person, then I had a light bulb like, wow, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know about this. Of course, more for a neurodivergent person to know that there is another option. So that's the reason that I said, okay, this is why I'm going to start Manu for Inclusion Foundation and to teach people about these tools. And then I know that it sounds like a cliche that I'm trying to make a better world for my son or for ourselves, but together with this new knowledge, we can do it and create a new world, a more loving, compassionate, empathy world for everyone. So neurodiversity is an umbrella of diagnosis. And many people are still including more diagnoses under this umbrella. Some of the diagnoses are the most common or the most that you might know is ADHD, ADD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and much more. Why do we call it neurodiversity? So when we are going to create new laws and we're going to create a movement, that's the reason that we call it neurodiversity. So we can include laws that help neurodiverse people. Who am I? At the beginning, when they asked me that question, I was like, I am a mom, I am a wife, I'm a sister. But after I took the emotional intelligence and the personal development programs, I was like, no, wait a minute. I am a loving warrior. I'm a loving mom. I'm a loving person. I am a healthy person. I do believe in a spiritual human being, and I am an artist and an entrepreneur. So that's who I am. What is my story with neurodiversity? So my household is a neurodivergent household. As I mentioned before, I have depression and anxiety. My kid has ADHD and autism, and my husband, he has autism also, what they used to call before Asperger's. So he's very functional. So I live in a household, a neurodivergent household, and sometimes it's tough, but it's a really cool thing because I'm constantly learning from my kid and from my husband things that I don't have or that are not part of my neurodivergent self. This podcast is for everyone who wants to know more about neurodiversity. This podcast is for people who wants new tools to help yourself as a neurodivergent person. This podcast is also for the people who would like to help a neurodivergent person, but don't know how. Create awareness, knowledge, what you can expect from the podcast. The facts, my story, tools to help you, even though if you're no neurodivergent, so tool to help yourself. And some really cool people might come this way and enjoy, and you will see their universe because each of us is like a complete different universe. And the communication or the key is the voice, the communication to enter to that new universe. Our mission is reflected in our website, that is manuforinclusion.org. But basically, it is to bring together the neurotypical kids or the neurotypical people and the neurodivergent people and smash them together through the power of compassion, empathy, the arts, wellness, and emotional intelligence. Because, again, cliche, but we can make a better world for our kiddos and young adults. Thank you so much for joining us over here, for your time. And also, if you have any questions, suggestions, please be loving and kind. It takes a lot of time and courage and love for me to be here. So my email address is Juana, that's JUANAV at manuforinclusion.org. And we're going to try to do one episode a month. Thank you so much for joining us again. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining today. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please email me at juanav@manuforinclusion.org. Have an awesome day and see you next time.